Picture yourself setting up camp deep within a vast, primeval forest, far removed from any sign of human life. Night falls, the fire dies down to embers, and you slide into your sleeping bag. The moment your eyes shut, the wilderness around you awakens. Wolves crying out in the distance, large predatory cats slinking through the undergrowth, bears shuffling through the darkness searching for food. At this point, you are utterly vulnerable. Eyes closed, body slack, mind completely offline. From a purely biological standpoint, a sleeping human should represent the simplest, most convenient meal any wild carnivore could stumble upon. And yet, documented wildlife records and ecological research point to a remarkable paradox. Bearing severe injury, starvation, or disease, wild wolves, cougars, and bears virtually never approach a human campsite while its occupants lie sleeping. In fact, when a predator happens across an unconscious human, its instinct isn't aggression. It's to freeze up, feel profoundly disturbed, and quietly retreat into the night. We tend to think this occurs because the animals are spooked by our tents or repelled by the lingering smell of smoke. But recent findings in cognitive ecology point to something far stranger and more unsettling. When a wild apex predator gazes down at your motionless, slumbering body, its evolutionary programming simply does not register you as prey. The physical silhouette of a sleeping human actually triggers a deep-seated biological alarm within the predator's nervous system. Ironically, you appear most threatening to the animal kingdom when you are entirely unconscious. If you're tucked beneath an animal hide, a canvas tarp, or inside a sleeping bag, your body heat becomes suppressed. Your distinctly human odor shifts, and your limbs vanish from view. To a stalking cat or wolf entering the clearing, you bear no resemblance to a primate, a deer, or anything else on their instinctual prey list. You resemble a vast, shapeless, horizontal mass. In nature's ruthless calculus, predators operate with extreme caution around risk. Lunging at an unidentified object is a dangerous gamble that could end in a crippling wound. To a hunting animal, an unfamiliar shape isn't a meal. It's a potential ambush. But what unfolds when the predator draws close enough to detect that this strange mound is actually alive and breathing? This is where the animal's psychological discomfort truly takes hold. Prey animals constantly signal their alertness. Ear movements, rhythmic chewing, subtle weight shifts. Even during rest, wild creatures cycle through brief, light sleep phases, snapping awake every few minutes to survey their surroundings for threats. Humans, by contrast, sink into a profoundly deep evolutionary sleep phase called prolonged REM sleep. During this phase, the brain deliberately shuts down the body's skeletal muscles to stop us from physically acting out our dreams. We remain utterly motionless, drawing breath in slow, mechanical, perfectly timed cycles for hours on end. To any wild animal, this degree of absolute stillness carries no recognizable meaning. When a predator encounters a large creature that breathes, yet shows zero movement, its ancient brain experiences the biological equivalent of the uncanny valley. Within their frame of reference, a sizable creature that fails to flinch, fails to respond to snapping branches, and doesn't stir even as something approaches, doesn't read as sleeping, it reads as dead. Or more disturbingly, as something deliberately waiting. Many apex predators, big cats in particular, are instinctively programmed to avoid carrion, rotting carcasses that harbor deadly pathogens. If your body reads as lifeless and inert, a large feline's predatory drive shuts off entirely. But if it detects warmth and life while you remain completely unbothered by its proximity, its brain concludes you must be a supreme threat, a creature so powerful and self-assured that the pitch black of night holds absolutely no terror for you. Your unconscious slumber registers as an act of total dominance. The final invisible shield that keeps predators at a distance is your biochemical profile. When a human wakes to find a predator nearby, the brain immediately floods the body with adrenaline and cortisol. Predators detect this fear chemistry from afar, and it instantly validates their position of power, emboldening them to strike. But during deep sleep, those stress hormones plummet to their lowest possible levels. Your entire nervous system slips into a state of quiet, regenerative stillness. When a wolf circles a sleeping human camp and inhales the air, it doesn't pick up the frantic chemical signature of a frightened, fleeing creature. It detects a completely composed, effectless being radiating zero distress. In the predator's hardwired evolutionary memory, the only living things that produce no fear chemicals in the dead of night are fellow megafauna. Animals sitting at the very top of the food chain. Creatures like grizzlies or silverback gorillas. The predator runs through its internal threat assessment, strange silhouette, no blinking, breathing like clockwork, and radiating not even a trace of fear at my presence. The animal's ancestral survival instincts override its hunger, warning it that disturbing this sleeping entity could unleash something violent.